Hey guys, a few weeks ago I asked the question, which weapon would you like to see me show off on Weapons Wednesday? And overwhelmingly the response was the bow staff. So I figured I'd show off a few of the different bow staffs we carry and answer some of the questions you've been asking about the bow staffs. The first question we get all the time is, what size bow staff should I buy? Now that's actually a really good question because they not only come in different lengths, but they also come in different diameters. So the answer isn't simple though, unfortunately. The answer is you've got to ask your instructor, because typically for most martial arts, I would use a 6-foot staff because I'm 6'4", and generally you want to use one that's kind of close to your height. But there are martial arts where they're going to ask you to use a shorter bow staff or a longer bow staff. So you're going to just want to talk to your instructor and see what they have to say. Also, we carry different diameters. This is a standard oak bow staff, which is about 1.25 inches diameter, but we also carry competition staffs that are about 1 inch in diameter, so a little bit thinner. And then we carry tapered staffs as well, which tapered means that it's got a thicker center and it actually tapers down to a very thin end. So you just got to ask your instructor which one he wants you to have. So the next question we get all the time is, what type of bow staff should I get? So generally in the martial arts, you're going to get a wooden bow staff, but we also carry these foam bow staffs, which are really nice for a couple of different purposes. For beginners, they're great. Like if you're buying for a kid, they're great because you don't have to worry about the kid injuring themselves. These have a PVC core and then they're a foam outside, and they're really, really soft. Like I get hit myself really hard with this and it's not gonna hurt. So they're good for that purpose. Also, if you're actually practicing techniques where you're striking another person or striking another staff, these are good because when you're practicing bow staff stuff, you hit your hand a lot. Like if I was to strike you, there's a good chance your bow staff could hit my hand. And by using a foam bow staff, that's going to keep you a lot safer from injury. So foam is really good for beginners or for practicing different techniques. But wood is definitely the most popular. In the majority of martial arts, they're going to ask you to use a standard wooden staff. But we also carry other types of staffs. We carry, one of my favorites is we carry the rattan staffs. We carry these in regular rattan like this, which is kind of natural. You can see that it's got a skin on it that's kind of cool. This isn't wood, this is actually a reed. And what's nice about it is it's got a flexibility to it that wood doesn't. So I can actually like force it down and I don't have to worry about it breaking in half like a normal wooden bow staff. Also, they're extremely resilient. Like if you're gonna strike this against another rattan bow staff, you're not gonna get a bunch of denting in it. It's gonna be, it's gonna last for a while. They're really good. Plus they're light, they're super light. And they look cool. Like we sell this one, which is a natural, but we also sell them in the burn or tiger rattan styling. So you see the burn marks throughout. Awesome staves. But I didn't want to go into the wood stabs in much detail today. I really wanted to talk about some of the stabs that are more popular that we manufacture ourselves. We have a whole area in the back where we manufacture all kinds of different weapons, nunchucks, escrimas, bow stabs, all kinds of things. And one of my favorites is the steel bow staff. They're really, really cool. They're made of steel, and this looks like solid steel. You would think this is just a solid steel pipe, but it's not. This is actually, it's got a thick wall on it, so it's hollow. It's a hollow steel, but it's got a thick wall, and we machine in the ends so that it looks like it's solid steel. But by having it be a hollow piece of steel, it's a lot lighter, so it actually can be performed like a bow staff. But in general, just know that these are a lot heavier than wood. Which is good. These serve a certain purpose. These are awesome in the effect that if you're practicing with these, you're gonna get used to the weight of a much heavier bow staff, so that when you go back to wood, or if you go back to rattan, it's gonna feel so light that you're gonna be super fast with it. So steel bow staves are awesome. I prefer to tell the customers that these are primarily used to build up your speed. But we also sell aluminum bow staves. I don't have one here on me, but looks very similar. The only difference is maybe the sheen is slightly different on it, but they're way, way lighter. I'd say probably about half the weight of the steel ones, and they're still super durable. There's a video on the website and on YouTube where I use a steel bow staff against an aluminum bow staff with one of our other employees, and you can see that the aluminum bow staff really does stand up nicely to the steel. It's not quite as strong as a steel, but it's still very, very durable. So I like both the aluminum and the steel bow staves. They're both awesome. Both have slightly different purpose to them, but both very, very cool. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is our LED bow staves. And we have two different models of these. We have our original model and we have our deluxe model. The original model is actually really cool because it's one solid piece of polycarbonate. That means that it's ultra durable. You could hit this against a wooden bow staff, metal bow staff, and it's going to be able to hold up because it's one solid piece of polycarbonate. And this is thick-walled polycarbonate. This is tough stuff. So that's not going to break on you easily at all. Now the deluxe version looks nicer. I actually think this looks super slick. What it is it's got polycarbonate that's actually machined into a high-strength aluminum for the grips and for the end caps. Looks awesome. But the problem is that by splicing in polycarbonate into aluminum, it's not quite as durable as the original version. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for something that is actually more slick looking, would be awesome in a tournament or competition, this guy looks a little bit nicer, but this guy is a little more durable. So keep that in mind. Now I'm just gonna turn off the light really quick so I can show you what this looks like in the dark. So just 1 second. Okay, so this guy right here, let's just turn it on and see how cool this looks in the dark. That's awesome. That is really awesome. And the thing about it is it's available in a bunch of different colors. It comes in blue, red, green, fuchsia, yellow. Really, really cool. One thing to keep in mind also is there's certain colors that are brighter than other colors. So if you want super bright, go with like a yellow, a fuchsia, a white. But if you want something that's a little more dull light, go with a red, a green, a blue, because they're just not quite as bright. So just keep that in mind when you're selecting which one you want. So I'm going to go ahead and turn back on the light. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you is our collapsible bow staff. Now this is my favorite weapon. We came up with it probably about 6 years ago, and I'd say this is probably our 4th version of it. We're always looking for new ways we can innovate and make it a little bit better, but it's really cool. So all it is it's a 22-inch stick, and you flip it and it turns into a 5-foot bow staff. And what's so great about that is when you're traveling, I don't know if any of you guys have ever gone to tournaments before, but one of the most annoying things is when you're trying to travel to a tournament or to your dojo and you've got a full-size bow staff in your car and it's just uncomfortable and awkward. Or if you're trying to travel in a plane and you're having to carry a long stick, it's just not fun. So these are great because you can, they're so portable. They're so small and so portable. And they're super simple to just close down. And then you've got, your 6-foot staff again. It's really cool. So this is our first version. This is the original version. And then we came out with the metallic version. And the metallic version is really cool because it's available in a bunch of different colors. This is the blue one right here. And it has more of like a sheen to it. If you're going to be in a tournament, you'd probably use something like this because it just catches the light just right when you're doing your kata. Works exactly the same way, super slick, super small and portable when you collapse it. I really love these. But the one I really wanted to show off on video today was the 2-piece version because we get the most questions about that. So here is the 2-piece version. It's just 2 batons, but it's got a quick connect in the center. So you can just connect it and then you've got your bow staff. So it's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. It works exactly the same way, but then when you want to take it apart, you just take the quick connect, and then you've got 2 batons. I really like them. I think these are really cool. So if there's any other bow staves you'd like to see, any other weapons you'd like to hear about, just leave it in the comments below. Like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next week for Weapons Wednesday.